As a fighting game fan, EVO weekend is one of my favorite parts of the year, and this year came through pretty strong with a bunch of sick rollback announcements and JoJo news. I wanted to make a little quick video talking about JoJo All-Star Battle R's exhibition tournament and anything new really that we can get about the game. Now luckily Foo Fighters was playable in this little exhibition tournament. Unfortunately Diego was not, but Foo Fighters looks really cool, and we got a really good look at the whole assist mechanic, which is now really integral to this game, very reminiscent of Marvel vs. Capcom, Dragon Ball FighterZ. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight some of the Foo Fighters footage that was shown throughout this entire tournament. Tongue twister aside, there was a lot of footage for it because Foo Fighters got to third place in the entire tournament. So there was a really great showcase of the character and all the new gameplay mechanics that are integral to this game. If you want to see more content JoJo related in the future, consider supporting the channel and it would be greatly appreciated. Now the first thing I want to talk about when discussing this gameplay is just Foo Fighters in general, because she heavily seems to be a zoner type character, using her pistol fingers in order to shoot out the plankton and get a heads up on the enemies with this insane amount of firepower and range and cross-up tech, with the cartwheel and then the overhead with the gunshots as well. It seems like she is just a menace, not only from afar but up close with all the directions she can switch up. And in just this little bit with this super, she absolutely annihilated Diavolo's health. Like, he's dead right now just because of the super. And I think that has a lot to show with how much tech that she actually kind of has, even though this is a very new character that no one really knows how to play yet, which I think has a lot of potential with characters they will add in the future, like Diego and other ones who weren't in the game previously. I think there's a lot to show for it. However, unlike Diego, Foo Fighters wasn't even in Eyes of Heaven either, meaning this is just a fully brand new character, and if they do plan on doing DLC in the future, that could be a really great sign of what's to come. Now, Foo Fighters was only able to really just annihilate Diavolo that last round because of the JoJo assist. So let's get into what makes assists feel a lot more impactful in this game. As you saw, Diavolo just had a guard break, being stunned and unable to do anything. That was caused by the fusion of Foo Fighters attacks and JoJo's assist, meaning Foo Fighters, who has a setup super where she shoots out a bullet, which again activates the super, would be able to only get that way through the guard break using both JoJo's strength and her range. Now, I think the assists have a lot of potential with sandwich type combos like we just saw, setting up to another absolutely disgusting kill from this Foo Fighters player. Now, do I think that Foo Fighters will be a really top tier character a la Jotaro, Dio, all the people with absurd combo potential in the last game? I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, we're only getting a glimpse of this character right now, and we don't know how much every other character has changed as well due to the nature of assist type gameplay. However, on her own, she does seem genuinely really, threatening with all the ways she can attack and just poke in and out of any sort of offense. And I feel like that's very indicative of how her character is going to play. She obviously has this meter on the bottom left, which allows her to do some more attacks. And I think if she runs out of it, she will become a lot weaker. Now, that isn't literally shown in the gameplay. That's just what I personally believe to be the case. Maybe she has to refill her ammo, because that happens a lot of the time when she uses her pistols. I'm not entirely sure. That is very indicative of how gun-based fighters usually do play in fighting games, so that's what I believe would be the case. Now, when I'm talking about the game itself, I feel like it's significantly faster than the last game, not only due to the assist style that they've changed this game into, but literally the game just looks a lot faster. Foo Fighters is weaving in and out of attacks like it's nothing, and even Diavolo, someone who is meant to be incredibly slow, as you could see by his walk speed, is able to do some pretty menacing combos on his own without even having an assist. So I think that the overall increased speed of the game and sort of streamlining it to feel like other fighting games will do this game a lot in the future. Unfortunately, the game does not have rollback, and there are actually no plans at all for it to have rollback, which is honestly very ironic due to most of the announcements at this year's EVO being heavily centered around lots of games getting rollback netcode, making it a lot more easily accessible for people to play with each other internationally. Is this a shame? Yes, I would say yes. However, if the game does manage to continue doing well in Japan after it releases, we could continue to get more and more DLC characters, and if there is enough fandom around the game, perhaps they would reconsider including rollback to make it a much more smooth experience for everyone else outside of Japan. I think that would personally be the best option, and let's just hope the game continues to get more and more traction due to all the new characters they're planning on adding, either from Eyes of Heaven or new characters like Foo Fighters. Now, for this final little bit, I'm just going to talk about my general impressions of the character based off of her gameplay, and oh my god, okay, so she actually kind of looks like a menace, I'm not going to lie. The amount of pressure that she can do with all of these cartwheels and the constant barrage of pistol shots, it's kind of crazy. And she has a command grab. I don't know if it is a specific command grab, but she's able to apply pressure so effortlessly all the time. And with the addition of assists, she's able to do sandwich combos that lead into guard breaks, which lead into the super. And the super is actually kind of insane. Like, the more and more I rewatch footage of this character, the more I realize this super kills at like 60%, and it's just, oh my god. I'm very worried about her. Now, I don't want to dismiss anyone that played against Foo Fighters, because Foo Fighters has not been playable in the public since today, but I guess I want to commend this guy who has been playing as her the whole time, because how are you already in the loop with Foo Fighters? I can't comprehend it. Like, Foo Fighters, the pressure and the super, and just, it's insane. Now, the only downside I could see to this character generally is having to reload the plankton, and I can't necessarily tell what the plankton does at this point. Foo Fighters is able to shoot without the plankton, so maybe the plankton is an additional special charge shot, and I can't really tell what's happening at this point. Now, I really want to highlight this right here. Look at the amount of health Diavolo has. That's like 10% gone right there, just from the first hit of the super. And then Diavolo's health literally gets eaten up and devoured and absolutely destroyed by this one super. I am fearful of this super. I'm fearful of Foo Fighters, and I cannot imagine that Foo Fighters is much scarier than the final antagonist of part 5, but I guess that's true, because Foo Fighters in this entire set has been an absolute menace, and it is no wonder that this player, who has absolutely bodied people with her, and just the amount of pressure that she has, is able to get this far into a little exhibition tournament with very little experience with the character, just pure fundamentals. She honestly reminds me a lot of rushdown characters in other anime-based fighting games, but personally, with this sort of gun tech where she could do high and low shots, she reminds me of Sagat, but with a distinct lack of low speed, and she can instead do a bunch of flips and dips and go everywhere. It's crazy. She actually looks really fun. So they really killed it with Foo Fighters, honestly. And I will give her a try, for sure. She looks incredibly fun, and even though she is a bit of a zoner, and zoner characters are not seen as typically fun, I played Mariah in Heritage of the Future, so anything can be fun if you just imagine it. And then she uses the super to cancel out. I forgot about this. So Diavolo's super is a counter, and it should not be able to be hit by anything, but Foo Fighters just activates her super at the same time. Oh my god, she is a menace. She is such a menace. That's all my rambling. I just really wanted to talk about Foo Fighters because she is disgusting, and there's a lot of really cool gameplay footage shown of All-Star Battle R. So yeah, those are really all my thoughts on the game at this point. It looks really fun and compelling. Reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom, which I love, and I cannot wait to give this game a try. Hopefully they add some more characters as well, because there are some hidden spots we still don't know, and no Part 8 character has been added yet, so fingers crossed for some JoJolian love besides Josuke. If you got all the way to the end of this video, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and hope you have a good one.